And I like to see the Chinese skyline. But what I really like to see is this draft, as we do have the Elise locked in already. Let's
Oh,
go.
well, it's similar to the Xin Zhao, sure. It's definitely another strong early game jungler.
Yeah. A lot of jungle bans coming through actually with the Olaf, the Rek'Sai, and now the Aatrox first pick.
But the
This,
Sejuani as well. Beishang was
yeah.
sweating.
So, well, this is his own team. Well,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, it is, and he was
Oh,
sweating.
yeah, of
He
course.
was worried about
But like,
SFM. Yeah.
if you're worried about SFM, you should probably not leave up the Aatrox.
Yeah, I'm interested by the and so things like Beishang. Did he really do that much early with the Xin Zhao? So is it going to be different this time?
Yeah.
But also, is the Aatrox the first pick or is it the Silas? I mean, they got both, right? Like,
Aatrox was first pick, yeah.
no, but like, yeah. So do you, do you prioritize the Aatrox over Silas?
I think the Aatrox.
this
I
patch?
really like the Silas, but honestly, the Aatrox is just like. First of all, it's flexible among 3 lanes, and it's overall just slightly better than the Silas, in my opinion. Although the Silas is still a massively crazy pick, and I am actually shocked that LNG got this three champion combination through. Meanwhile, WE got the Aurelia as the only priority pick.
Yeah, this is a very disgusting team already for LNG. You know, they have that flexibility, like you said. Aatrox in the jungle, and then just Sivir. Just a disgusting champion.
Yeah. They're gonna ban the Morgana. I think they should be more distraught by the fact that Nautilus is still up. That should hopefully go right now. Otherwise, WE is in trouble.
No, that's not great. But if they have the Nautilus, I mean, it's like Ezreal's available, right? Yeah, you can go with something like that. Someone who can just play very safe behind the Alistar. I mean,
Sure, but like in the late game, it's just so bad. Like a Silver Nautilus is just so good for any sort of pick comp.
just a force, yeah. It is nice, of course, that they do have the Alistar into the Sivir. One of the only supports that can really step up to her. But even then, he's going to have some trouble early on when it comes to her just haranguing him down.
So we are about to see what W is picking up for the AD carry, and it is going to be the Kaiser.
Ooh.
Yeah, you have to survive, and I don't
think, yeah.
Yeah. Like, sure, get Mystic a huge carry. That is a fair assessment, but honestly, just be more careful not to just lose this game by 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like Alistair Kaiser isn't really in any way a decent lane until at least, not early on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. If you're versus Sivir, yeah, you need to do something in the lane in the early stages. You know, this is going to come online.
Yeah.
Maybe when they start getting just a few components, but I don't know.
This is putting a lot of pressure on Beishang to get something done on the elites. Just get his team some leads somewhere and get them to the mid game with a slight lead.
Yeah.
Because LNG is going to crush the mid game, and you need to still be alive by like 30 to 35 minutes if you really want to win through the Kaiser here.
Yeah, I mean, the only time before that 35-minute mark that I see this Kaiser being useful is like maybe level 2. Say Alistar skills Pulverize and Trample. Then maybe level 2 you can do something with the Void Seeker and the Acathian Rain. That is a lot of burst damage. But I don't know.
Really not happy with this WE comp, if I'm quite honest. The Renekton is going to come through. It is a halfway decent matchup into the Akali, but I just the fact that LNG has to score again and is still behind it this time is already crazy. And and I'll be honest, like they're also lacking magic damage at this point, unless Beishang goes off enough that he can build full AP, which you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's not great. Mystic can get some, they're like, it's not like having an AP carry, right? Unless you build full AP, which I wouldn't recommend right now. But I mean, you're getting a reasonable amount. But
yeah, I mean, you're doing like the slight AP build with Romana
Gwynsu's Smasher or Gwynsu's, and you can get Zonya's as well. Yeah, a little bit,
Like You get Muramana into Guinsus, into Nashers, into... I've even seen the Rabadons. So, by 45 minutes, okay, maybe the Kai'Sa is doing quite a decent amount of magic damage, but you don't have that time.
But I don't think you even have to hit that that point, because you don't have that much magic damage as it stands. People aren't building that much magic resist, which means the little bits of whittling magic damage that she's doing, just with, the passive and the Guinsus, are going to be fine. However, they do have an elite, so there is a pretty heavy incentive just for everyone to pick up, just a Negatron cloak or something.
Like, the thing is, Plex is already going to pick up the Zhonya's most of the time. SFM can just pick up just a bit of armor in general. So he can even pick up Tabbies if he wants to. And I just don't see this working.
Well, when I look at this game, look at the comps. LNG have exactly what they had last game on the top side of the map. They got those 3 battle picks, and then they got the one thing that was keeping WE in the game, being Sivir. So this one might be a little bit quicker. My humble opinion.
Yeah.
You have to see.
Anyway,
a lot depends on Beishan's pathing here.
Yeah. Anyway, starting off with no invade this time. We've had, I think, 3 invades in 3 games this night, but not this time.
I see. I mean, maybe we get a late one. The old 120 invade. The spicy one, but
pretty much seems like blinded scrimmage here.
Is that? Oh, okay. Fleet footwork there for the Aatrox.
Okay, as if I'm just going straight for the blue buff here. Is he gonna go blue buff into blue buff?
No invades. Good one.
Yeah.
Right now, looks like he's getting this one for. Oh, hello, Ray.
Hello, Rayra.
Getting this. Okay.
I don't even know if that's going out on stream, but we just saw Rayra shoot for no reason.
I feel like we've got program feed, but okay,
no, it didn't go out.
Okay.
All right, it went out. Okay.
All right, good one. So I'm so glad they put out the runes, because I want to see what he's running here. It looks like he's just going to do a bit of classic vertical jungling, and they know that the Elise hasn't responded yet, so this is maybe risky to go for the wolves, but pretty understandable what Beishan would go. But what we've got Triumph, busted on Aatrox, Bloodline, and then I think that last one was Last Stand, which I think if you do the maths actually works out as better than Coup de Grace in most situations. But are you really going to get that low as the Aatrox?
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of not going Aftershock this time, because you have a main tank this time. I mean, quote unquote main tank in the support role.
Oh god! Oh no! Mystics level 1. Force the flash out, the ignite thrown out early on the Guan, who is tanking the tower. That's a nice headbutt to try and disengage that, but the first blood secured by the Kai'Sa. Now Azura going low, but gets out alive, and SFM still up as well. No summoners for Mystic, but I think everyone's going to go ahead and disengage that. It's a 1-for-1. I'm not sure what the point was.
Like, what is it with the LPL and that?
It.
What is the point of the LPL and that level 2 tower dives? Like,
well, we go for level 3 tower dives instead as the flash from Flandra, but that is
that was actually more
he has.
Reasonable.
Yeah, this one's not terrible. The Aurelia is running
TP
to meet him, but it is quite far away. Now, if Frost gets the slice and dice and the flash first, he will be able to get a very long stun duration. But actually, Flandra running the sort of wrong direction here, but he realizes he's kind of going straight into a 3v3. A nice 1v3, sorry, but a nice Cocoon going to find that one out, and now Plex maybe in the sticky situation, but no one can get to him. So, oh god.
I don't know why they didn't help him. Like, Plex actually teleported into the mid lane and just started farming.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. And now he's probably going to pay the price for this one, because now Missing's come up to play. Ooh,
yeah,
easy. Flash Cocoon, my dude.
Yeah.
Okay. This is. Oh, I'm tilting my chair back for this one.
Yeah, you're already tilted.
Yeah, I'm leaning back. This is I've got to reserve my energy for this one, I think.
But yeah, Shea with a 2-0 Aurelia at this point.
I break that one down.
I like that Shea is actually playing the Aurelia this time because while Paul's had some decent moments, he definitely wasn't carrying on the Aurelia last time, and Shea
Oh,
has been looking quite a lot better overall this season.
oh no. I actually had this exact same thing happen in my solo queue game yesterday. It's Elise Renekton versus, this time it was Diana, basically the same champion, and it went a lot like this. The
This is
Renekton
the
just
third
outshoved
tower
so
dive,
hard. You just like, oh, let's go
3-6.
to the replay of the first one. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll be honest, like that was pretty bad.
it's not
Like
great.
pretty badly
I
coordinated. You should never like think, oh, like taking tower damage at level 2. That's gonna be fine, right? You know.
Oh, did not see that flash. But yeah, I think during that dive, from the second it started, Duan accepted he was going to die. And you see where he stood. He's between the town hall. There's no way he can like get out of that uh, and lose aggro. And that tower just ramps up so fast and does so much early. But like,
Yeah,
that's not how you want to start your dives by saying, yeah, I'm definitely going to die.
she has a complete backup here of his team, even missing coming up from the bot lane, and he can just go very deep into that jungle, pick up the kill, and yeah, map control is in the favor of W right now. SFM can be happy if he picks up this Cloud Drake, but he's gonna lose his jungle in the top side for it.
Yeah, it's a good trade for the team, but for SFM, pretty rough to lose that much XP. Have to see how much he's going to be able to take back from Beishang's jungle. And speaking of which, Beishang just running straight back into. Oh, and the wood just died like half a second before he got in the bush. Oh
No,
no,
that was the red side ward. That was the red side.
No, there was two woods.
Ah.
Oh no. Oh, buddy. Oh,
Okay,
no.
they're just waiting. No. There we go.
Oh no.
Just a pile up. Just a pile up at this point.
I mean, what can you do? They've got repair. Like, even if you have the smoke, repair
And
and
just,
dominus.
he is the right target. He's first of all the most squishy member on LNG, and he's the most hot off the presses player. As I said, he's had a great season. Just get him down to 03. Get Post ahead, who has had a terrible season so far, and maybe you can actually win this game.
Yeah, put all your resources into, someone that's been, like you said, not having the best of seasons. But right now it's looking okay. And the important thing is that Beishang's getting the last hits, because now he might be able to put those and get this influence, this damage out onto the rest of the map, because he's already got his runic.
Yeah. And
no, why would you go for the rest of the map? Look at the car. Oh no, Beishang, please.
Well, we often talk about like how Beishang means misery. Well, this time it means misery for Flandre.
Yeah. Oh, good lord! If only Poss meant company. He's just gonna. I can just see he's gonna get the red buff. He's gonna get the blue buff, and he's gonna go straight up.
Like, I'm just thinking of that one Top Gear scene where it's like, May like has Hammond on the walkie-talkie, and it's like, Hammond, May here, bad luck, and it's like, I bet if you dub that into Chinese, it's like, Hammond, May here, Beishang.
Probably. Oh god. He thought he could ward it. He's just gonna get lane. Oh no, I don't know what's going on the rest of the map. Oh, cool. Well, it works, yeah. Keep it up. I'm just staring at Beishang, waiting for him to just walk into that lane bush. It's a shame Poss can't freeze because he's got the Tiamat, but at the same time, you can still dive. I mean, now that you've got level 6 on the Akali, finally, it's a little harder, but still pretty doable. I don't know. I feel like right now, Beishang might be losing his momentum a little bit, but at the same time, we're really only 9 minutes into the game. Like, he's doing fine. Right. So what's the plan? What's Beishang's next move?
Just use the advantage he got. Take the extra damage he has. He already has the completed skirmish saber plus runic echoes. He's going to use his team to just make SFM's life hell.
Right, well, Plex is coming in with a fat Aurelia ult. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to throw. I think it might
Oh
have timed
no.
out, but it doesn't matter because he finds the first onto Aurelia, and now Kaiser ulting in. Is it going to be able to find one kill back here? And now it's a 3v3. Missing level 6. Does not have the Unbreakable, though. And a flash taunt secures two. Plex flashing on this to try and look up another, and will find it. 400, make that 750 gold in his pocket as the double kill is secured. And that's the way. That's the WE special.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
just coming in like hot off the couple of plays, just going completely blind. No wards, no nothing. And then Plex just comes in from behind. Gets
Plex didn't
the
have
beautiful Aurelia ult here. Look at this. There's the Aurelia.
Oh, he
ult.
did have the ult. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it timed out. Yeah.
Missing it immediately pops. Like that's sorry, not missing. Beishang immediately pops, and that's the point about Elise. Like if you dictate the pace of the play, yeah, you can do a lot of damage before anyone can even touch you. But if somebody gets the flank on you, you are dead
doomed.
immediately.
Yeah. So much of her survivability relies on getting that spiderling healing and using your repel as well. But if you're not allowed to do any of that, if you're not allowed to cocoon the person on you to buy yourself time, it's a little doomed. But also just before that play, you see, maybe I have to wait a little bit. Is anyone going to smite that? Yeah, they are. Wei Chang secures the Rift Herald. Have to see who picks it up.
Andre coming up.
It's getting a little bit interesting. Zia does not have the ultimate available, and Plex swipes out for Dominus. No flash for Dwan. He's not going to be able to find that play again, but Sotham might look over the wall. He has his dash available soon. Flandre can say the same. Dashing on in, and look how low everyone is. He has the execute charge available, but looks like Asura's just going to whittle down the Renekton. And now we might wait for a further dive. Jie
Fifth
recalling
tower dive
out.
of the game coming up.
God,
No,
fifth? I think
no.
sixth, no?
Okay, they're just gonna
okay.
just gonna leave it for now. But yeah, LNG is back in this game, and the right people are getting the right amount of gold.
Oh yeah.
Namely Azura and Plex, just getting their items done, scaling into the mid game. Flandre is still very far behind, but he now even he has been able to pick up the cutlass and the amplifying tome as well now. So he's ready to do at least something.
Akali's not known for the base damages, but yeah, like you said, she can do something. But it seems that Beishang really only knows how to dive, and now that you've got 2 kills, 4 assists onto this Sivir, diving gets a little bit harder when you think about the wave clear there. But I think just my main issue with that play was there was so long that Beishang had Runic Echoes and SFM had 2 longswords, and then he only goes for the play once SFM recalls. I have no idea how much gold Beishang was sat on there, but I assume he had a hefty bit in his pocket because I think he got those sorks from nothing.
Yeah, but so like okay, it helps definitely, but I don't think it's putting him head and shoulders above SFM right now.
Yeah, it's that's the thing is he had that window.
Yeah,
but then I think he just hung out with too much gold in his pocket and let SFM catch up and reach the same point that they were at because he hadn't bought. So now it's not looking too great. Of course, it's still very close. It's still a lead for WE, but I think a fight like that, how demoralizing is that got to be?
Yeah, and the problem at this point becomes that LGS is not squishy enough for anybody to properly die in time.
Sure.
And then Duran just comes in with the heroic entrance and absolutely shuts down anything that WE wants to do.
Yeah, like who's the target for WE right now? They have so much pick with Alistair Elise. Who are they looking for that on?
Well, Azura is hard because he has the spell shield. Plex is just a bit too tanky. So really, Flandre is the pick, but Flandre doesn't give any gold anymore. Let's be completely real here. Flandre has been exhausted of gold. So.
All right. Is it going to get the play? Yeah, okay, we're fine. Sorry. Continue. I was just worried about it not getting the plates, but there was no wave.
Doesn't get the last plate, though, and that is not going to come.
Yeah, I think that was just 80 gold split between, I think, just 2 people. I think they only got 1 plate off that.
Yeah.
Herald does about exactly 1 plate.
Well, it did 1.5, but, it was, like, so close to the last plate.
Yeah.
And they just barely couldn't get that done. LNG doesn't have to fight right now. LNG can let Flandre farm up a bit, get him the Hextech Gunblade, get Azura on the Essence Reaver plus Infinity Edge, and
Yeah.
just sit it out until like 20 to 25 minutes, and then just set up on Baron. And what does WE do at this
All
point?
right.
I don't know.
Well, I think like at this point, you say LNG don't want to fight. I think WE really do, because on
Yeah.
those last recalls, they just got the Cleaver and the Triforce for Poss and Gia respectively. Those are huge spikes for Renekton and Aurelia, and so this is definitely the time they want to start looking for something whilst they have this advantage. Like you said, Flandre just wants to farm up. They just want to get Flandre into the late game, and if he's not, if fights are happening whilst he's trying to do that, he's gonna have a good time. And oh, good lord, they're just going right on into soft flash on out of that one.
Yeah.
And you're happy to take the flash, but what do you get for it?
Well, you get advantage in that red side jungle. They put down some vision wards.
Sure, but there's nothing there.
Yeah. Sure, but I mean, first of all, this is about to happen.
Yeah, but Galio, this is now getting this is the time where it's starting to get risky when it comes to these dives. Also, I believe Plex can yoink Elise ult and then repel to keep himself alive if that's what he wants to do.
That's actually, I hadn't even considered that. That
is a play.
Pretty strong. Or just pick up the Aurelia ult and smash them both. He probably has the resources for that.
Yes, he's in a pretty decent spot right now. Now the Hexblade was finished by Flandre as well, so that one's looking pretty nice for him up there. But
even as Aurelia ult, he might look for the play himself. He's going to back off though. Poss is still so far ahead of Flandre at this point that he can push out the side lane, and that actually might be the thing that pushes LNG to take fights rather than just sit it out. Because I don't think Flandre can defend against Poss long term.
From the trade we just saw, it was only like 100 or 200 health that Flandre lost out, and as you see, he does slowly heal it up when he spams those shurikens onto the wave with his gunblade. But obviously, in the drawn out fight, Poss is definitely going to win. Poss gets this sort of really nice short trades as well because he has the PTA, but he's just not doing enough through the Dorans and through the healing of Flandre to the point that it's an insurmountable, trade for Flandre.
What I also don't get is we've seen two Renektons today, and they're both not going for the full
lethality.
The
is that what you were gonna say?
What's it called? The Death Stance, the Spear of Sojourn kind of build that has been really popular on the Renekton. Sure, most of the time mid, but even in top lane, I think it's just a better build right now.
I've not actually seen Death Stance before. He could be going for Shojin. I wouldn't be surprised by it.
Yeah,
could be building up for that Kindle
third, fourth item Death Stance, but really like the full AD build rather than going for the Hydra.
What I've seen is sort of Cleaver Titanic. You basically this into Shojin into like Sterax. We'll have to see. Maybe a fight comes out here. Duan gonna just keep himself alive, and he has the taunt available to lock up for, but it's an instant cast, so not too long on that one. Now Plex coming on in with the Aurelia ult, gonna flash away. I believe Killer Instinct already used, so Mystic not able to chase down that, and the Void Seeker doesn't find the kill either. But still, a free kill picked up for Worldly, and now they look for the Mountain Dragon. That looks like Flandre and SFM might try to steal this one away. SFM secures it, dashing on in, and Flandre dashes on out. SFM not quite able to get the reset, but he doesn't need it. There's now Plex has TP'd back into the fight, but does find one. Securing the kill onto Beishang, and this fight goes pretty decently for LNG. Beautiful dashing in and out of the pit to secure that Drake. And then they get a kill as well.
But Plex twice in a row just went in when LNG's like, yeah, we're leaving it. We're leaving it. Okay, I'm going in. I'm Plex.
They don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, like Plex has been known for both his aggressive builds and his aggressive playstyle so far. And
I'm seeing that, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of over sometimes.
Yeah. Duan just caught a little bit on that corner there.
Yeah,
really just good for missing. Yeah.
Yeah. Plex just thought I can get more out of this, which he just couldn't.
It's a nice escape. Let's see, how close was the Void Seeker? Not at all. Okay. Good to know. But let's look at
Yeah.
this steal, man.
Yeah, really nicely done. Just waiting it out and then pop over the
Boom.
wall.
I mean, he gets a lot of
And
the.
just the amount of damage he was able to get out even after killing the dragon, just pushing out some Qs onto multiple people, that allowed Plex to get at least one kill in the end there.
And I have to wonder, how does that fight go if SFM isn't running Fleet Footwork? If he's got Aftershock or Conqueror, maybe even Electrocute, how differently does that go? Because the Fleet, it's nice with your passive, but in team fights, it's kind of useless.
They could have gotten more out of that, that's for sure. I guess he just wanted the better early game trading and better, like he wanted more health during the early game to, match Beishang's moves around the map. That ended up not really helping, but in the mid game he did well.
Yeah, it's managing to get by all right with it, and probably won't be. Yeah, it's not going to be too much of a deficit later, as long as he's not making plays where he's throwing himself into 5 people and expecting that aftershock tankiness. If that's something you're used to, it can be very dangerous to then play the game without it. But now, seeing a bit action up here, 3v, no, make that 4 versus 2. Nice stun from Flanger just to try and disengage, keep people away from Plex, and it looks like that's going to be okay, but Mystic is now here, right on top of him. The Zonya's thrown down, and Mystic lost a lot of health during that. He needs to be careful, but the kill is secured. Mystic so low, but has Flash, has Killer Instinct, so he's not risking too much.
Yeah, another kill with 5 assists, just giving over gold to WE. They have a 2,000 gold lead at this point, and a lot of that was actually on Mystic, who was about to hit his 3-item spike with the Nash's Tooth.
I assume he's completed it, the Murmana?
Yeah, the Murmana is completed, yes.
Yeah, nice one. Oh, but what's also completed is missing over this play. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'll roll with it. Flanger caught pretty low out of the fight. He's forced to stay too far back, which means Mystic is able to secure 1 kill, and now everyone starts to dash on in forwards. Never mind, EA starts to flash on back. Look how low everyone is. This is a Sivir's fight. She has no mana, but the Ricochet is charged. She just needs 1 auto. Forget the bounces, the slow, and the passive, but it's just not enough.
It wasn't meant to be, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 after everything is said and done. Pulse is coming through. We are used to those at the... they are going to lose by a dive, but the Kai'Sa puts out so much damage before you can even auto-attack her, but that it doesn't matter with the PD.
Yeah, I think she's fine, even if they get onto her. We'll have to see. The Shiv probably going to be a little bit obsolete here. Some people do like it on Sivir, but it's a little bit excessive. And Hurricane,
not completed.
Probably not the pick. Okay, so didn't quite have enough, but it does have the extra space to grab that pink ward there. And nice vision coverage from really all members of LNG there. You take a second to look. We've got pinks all over the map and pinks all over the inventories. It's really what you like to see.
And there we have Mystic going back, picking up the 3rd item. So he's actually having the spike first.
Again, the economy of your items is something that gets looked over a lot. But right now, it's turning out to be very important. The fact that you're not going for that expensive Infinity Edge, and instead you're going for the cheap Mirror Mana. However, we had this situation earlier coming out from Beishang being in a similar situation, and he was not able to use it to the best of his advantage. So I have to see if WE can find something now.
Yeah. They're going to be happy that Flandre is actually not a threat this time, because Plex actually has a hard time properly getting into the backline. He's much more of, with the Stylus, you're much more of a frontliner, just going, 1v3 against the front line, and then later going to the backline. But if they do that against Mystic on the AP Kai'Sa, he's just going to shred Plex to pieces.
Well, Plex does have the possibility to go to the backline.
Yes. Plex is doing the Plex build.
What's the Plex build? Lichbane?
Lich Bane.
I like Lichbane on Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa on that champion. Silas, yeah. No, the reason I was thinking Kai'Sa, because you say he can't get onto the back. Oh wait, Silas is a front to back champion. Not when he's versus Kai'Sa. He can steal away that Void Assault.
I mean, that's a really unrealistic scenario, to be fair.
Is it though? Like, is it?
I'm more worried actually that somehow WE thought, hey, you know what we're gonna pick into the Silas? We're gonna pick
Alistar.
We're gonna pick Alistar.
Like, it's weird because on the one hand, like Aurelia ult's not great. Elite's ult is useless.
Yeah. Like,
No, Renekton ult's it's basically bang in the middle.
yeah,
But then you look at Kai'Sa Alistar, it's just like, these are two of the best ults.
Alistar's like the #1 pick not to pick into
Yeah.
into Silas, in my opinion. Like, other than, I mean, to some extent, you could say Vladimir is also up there,
It's
but like, there's very
it's
few
rough.
things that are worse to pick into a
There's a
Silas
few of the
than.
supports, like Thresh and even Ashe, are actually really rough versus Silas because they have high AP scaling on their abilities.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just, just an unkillable Silas is
Yeah.
just the worst Silas they can do.
Oh god, it's a rough one to be sure, but right now it looks like W. Yes, again, W not using that window as Phantom Dancer is now finished for Asura. But I think it's not impossible for Silas to go for that backline play. I think that, Flandre or SFM look for some sort of flank or side-on play. They tag a little bit of CC onto Mystic, who then, runs for his life. Well, the second he's split just a little bit away from Missing or Beihang, then Plex is just immediately ing on into the backline and just one-hitting him.
Yeah, he has Slash, so there's definitely the potential there. But one of the big problems as well is, like, once Plex has used his abilities to get into the backline, like, Mystic just has to
He's kind of doomed. Yeah.
Like, he basically has to press Alt. Mystic just has to press Alt, and has at least enough distance between him and Plex to be able to deal with him.
Yeah, it does create a lot of distance, and I think that distance is longer than the chains that Plex has. Plex can look for like a Flash Kingslayer if he manages to find the range, but yeah, like I said, the defensive ult from Mystic can be pretty helpful in that situation. But it does also serve as a delivery system for the Galio, which is something to keep in mind. Again, this is like highly situational, and you can only do this once every 3 minutes or so, but it's a combo I think we should keep our eyes on. Right, well,
Both
Spirit
teams-
Shojin picked up.
Both teams every
Oh,
summon
good
up-
lord. Okay. Missing's
Here we
forced
go.
to engage under the tower, and Asura just
Oh!
immediately melts. But now Mystic is found out on the side by SFM, who's trying to heal up. Mystic going low, but managing to stay alive. And Plex trying to get in, but just immediately headbutted out by Missing. But it doesn't matter because Flandre managed to find a few. He gets a kill, and he gets on out. Now going back on in with Plex, who's Sonya's in the middle of the team, dishing out some Petra slightly. But now it looks like ZA will clean up and secure the double. Finally, an ace for WE.
From the initial triple kill to that victory, it was a long way. Plex held on for dear life in that team fight, but he just wasn't able to pull it out, and W is pushing for base.
Yeah, that fight was just, I think, almost just won by Missing there. Azura gets caught out, kind of rough. But look at the headbutt from Missing. It's not even caught out. That's just, yeah, I'm bored.
Yeah. I want to see right now if Plex actually got the Alistar ult, because that would explain a lot.
I think he took Aurelia. Yeah, he took Aurelia's.
He got Aurelia ult. Okay. Well, that still does quite a lot sometimes.
But just that headbutt out of the corridor, absolutely massive. Props to Flandre on this fight, though. The way he's just diving in and out constantly. That's how you play Akali.
Yeah. He might be down, but he still has the skill of a great Akali.
Oh, yeah. If he wasn't, dove 4 times at the start of this game, imagine how this would have gone.
Yeah. But I guess that is to the credit of WE.
No, yes, yeah, of course. They did that one very well, but I think Flandre maybe just tilted a tiny bit at the end of that fight. It looked like some of the times he was going back in were just a little suboptimal, but... Oh, Beishang's... Oh, my... I was looking at... I think it was Flandre that went in. And just for some reason, I thought that Flandre was the Elise, and that the Elise was on LNG, and I saw Elise smited it. I'm like, oh god. He literally just walked in and stole it. But no. Mountain Dragons going where they're meant to be. And holders of those Mountain Dragons now moving on towards the Baron.
It's going so fast.
Yeah, it's looking great, but On the Hunt has been popped.
Yeah, the AP Kai'Sa build just shreds Baron.
Well, Flandre now looking to shred a couple people. He's in the middle of the team. Missing can save the same for himself. Now, Plex does have the Alistar ultimate, but it looks like it might not be enough as he goes golden. And now Mystic onto the backline, going to be able to find one, finds Duan as well, picking up the double, now looking for the triple, but walking into 3, maybe not the optimal position. Poss now going low, has the Fury available, but drags back on in and will be popped by SFM.
Mystic had to go big or go home, but it is going to be go home in the end. Black's just too tanky. The 3-man core of LNG just striking right in there. SFM coming back in on the backside of that fight, cleaning house, and WE lose the Baron here to LNG and potentially lose the game from here.
It's looking kind of rough. We're going to see LNG are trying to keep this Baron alive to make sure that everyone gets the stack. And as Flange responds, he will be gifted it. Very polite. But in that fight, looking at Plex, I thought he was kind of doomed. He get chunked so low straight through the Alistar ult. But Zhonya's just doing enough to keep him alive. And like you said, Mystic needed to go big. He had a good start of it, but then just takes 2 steps too close to the unwarded bush. And it ends up paying the price for it. And let's watch this one back.
Yeah, the problem was that...
Wait, it was warded. He actually knew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
apparently.
They get a decent start of the fight. Let's not forget, they're all debuffed with the magic resist debuff.
Yeah.
They're going in, and despite the Alistar ult, Plex takes a decent amount of damage, but then Mystic decides, okay, I'm gonna jump the backline. I'm gonna try to win this fight. But Plex on the backside,
and then that's that step right there.
Plex on the backside, coming out of Zhonya's, just keeps himself alive with all his might and just cleans up that backside. And all of a sudden, Mystic is completely alone.
I think it's just the fact that Mystic used his. Obviously, like Plex did great there, and it was a really clutch redemption as well from Duan. Something we didn't touch on that really helped to keep both Plex and I'm not sure who else. I think it was Duan himself alive there. But just when he's sprinting back in towards what's soon to be 3 people, if he runs down, if he runs towards mid lane, just cutting out the Galio, he can use that move speed to get kills later, but runs straight on into his doom there. But now, a Wit's End being picked up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not something I've seen on Kai'Sa before. I did not notice.
It didn't help. The thing is, Mystic needs to kill Plex. There's no other person on W who can actually kill Plex.
Yes.
Especially when he has the Alistar ult.
I mean, I look at the Wit's End. Gonna be useful versus, right? Obviously. For magic resist and the healing. Yeah. But the issue is you're only healing when you're below half health. If you're a tank or like a bruiser, that's fine, because half health for you is like 1500. For Mystic, it's like 600. And then Plex has an execute. So if his job is to 1v1 Plex, this item's only useful once he's in kill range.
Well, it's to keep himself alive after he 1v1 Plex. That's the point, probably.
Is he winning that 1v1 where he picks up a Wit's End compared to... like, it's a good point, but...
When Plex is jumping in, he needs to kill him with his team. Like, oh no. Oh no.
This great, but... Missing gets a nice combo there, but I think the damage isn't quite enough. However, a lot is being used. SFM throws out the ultimate and will not get the refresh, but his team will get the inhib, and I think that's enough for him. LNG going to back off.
Yeah, they blew a lot of ults. They want to back out of this. They don't want to take another fight, and they don't have to. They can just take this relatively slow. Just get the 6th item onto some of their members, maybe even the 4th on Flandre at this point.
It's not. Oh, he's still so rough, but he is managing to keep up in CS at least. But I like the use of the on the hunt there as well. Like you said they get the inhib and then they don't need to get anything else and they back off, and that's something that LNG really seem to have recognized there. Using the on the hunt just to move from the tower to the inhib, and then the using like I said, just backing off. They can look for a fight, don't have to. It's like we got what we came for, and everyone chills out.
The residual ult is always like the thing. You walk up, you have the on the hunt on, so nobody can actually run into you because they're just gonna get run down. So they just stay back. You stay back. You take the tower and walk away.
It works out.
I just saw Plex pick up a Mage Eyes.
All right, bit late for that one, but I respect
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's already got
7-6.
7 stacks, so it's not terrible. But game, if they win a
Yeah,
team fight decisively, they probably just end the game.
yeah,
So, but at the same time, it's not about stacking. Like already, it's just giving a heavy like the amount of AP it's giving for its cost right now. It is fine. It's kind of like if you think the game's going to end and you have 7 stacks, it's kind of like getting an elixir, I guess.
yeah.
But
I
if it
guess.
doesn't, he has the elixir as well.
Yeah, to be fair, but yeah, I would have much rather seen like if he had the money, for the needlessly rush rod, so he can go into something else later,
Yeah,
or even like if you want to, you can even pick up a defensive item at this point. It doesn't really matter that much. Like just pick up
like a banshees or something.
yeah, banshees, potentially. He already has
It's
Zonius, so
yeah, he already has Zonia's and Proto Belt, so he's actually deceptively tanky, as well as obviously big shields and big heals with the Abscond and Kingslayer. But I don't know, I feel like Measures is also people forget that it's actually decently cost effective to sell back. It's like I think it sells for like 700 or something, and he bought it for like effectively 1100 because he didn't sell the Dark Seal.
yeah, yeah.
So I think it's not a terrible pickup. It's basically, yeah, like I said, it's like an elixir, but you don't have that time pressure. But we do see what you wanted to see: the Rabadon's picked up by Mystic.
Yeah, he's
A lot of damage.
he's ready.
Yeah, the one thing I changed about this is I'd swap the Wits End for a More. I think would be really nice. It'd also cap
Yeah,
out your
could be.
CDR.
Yeah. The only
Actually,
thing
no,
is
it
like
wouldn't cap you.
you are
30%.
going very much for the AP variant here, so maybe even a Banshees would have been better.
Yeah, even a Banshee. Yeah, that would be really nice. The More probably wouldn't be enough to get you.
Oh, here we
What you
go.
call it? Oh, never mind. But it's a bit of an engage coming out here. The Aurelia ult does not connect, and now Galio throwing down and gets a pretty nice knock-up, disrupting the game. No one drops yet, but now Duan is first to fall. Mystic is keeping alive, and he's on a pretty hefty amount of health. He's forced to flash, forced to heal, and the Kingslayer was not able to come through. So WE get this fight, and they get Plex, and now sprints towards the mid lane. Looks
He
like
got Plex.
is...
We're ready.
No, Boss, where are you going? Stop the
Oh,
pause!
he can't stop the recalls right now. They're going Mystic won the quote unquote 1v1 against Plex. Like he's alive, Plex is not. I won.
It's good enough. I'll take it. But Poss has teleport event. He's going to use it now. I was like I thought he was going up there to stop the recall, so his team could just end the game even if he died. But at the end, it's just going to be the inhib, maybe the ocean as well. That's kind of risky because vision control of the Baron.
Yeah.
But time for the replay.
Yeah. They're fighting in a very bad position. Both teams actually missed their Aurelials, and Mystic is just completely untouched throughout the entire fight.
Yeah.
Plex is doing as much as he can in that backline, but when it comes time to engage into Mystic, he's just too low and can't get the job done.
Yeah, it's when you look at the play there from a Mystic, really nice repositioning. Oh, it's not defensive, it's not aggressive, it's just simply just to put him in a better position where he takes less damage, does more. Brilliant. Really helps to swing that fight. And then it was so close for Plex. We're talking so much about the 1v1 between these two guys. Plex just needed to basically get his passive proc. If he got the passive proc, he can throw the Q during that and W during it as well. And he's going to be able to burst down for Mystic. But Mystic using Flash Heal does live. He will not have those for the next fight.
At the same time, though, like this chaotic of a fight should also give Azura enough time to pump out some damage. He just got taken out way early.
He just got popped, yeah. Like, this is a 6-item Sivir with frontliners. This is the thing we didn't see for Mystic last game. They weren't really frontliners. And as Sivir, you're very happy when you have those. Oh, Plex, you are not in a happy situation, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord. Okay, Plex is dead, and this Baron will be the next point of call for WE without Plex in this fight. We have to wonder, what can LNG do? They have the Sivir, but is that enough?
No, they're just going to back off. They're just going to let it happen. They need to secure the base. And, oof, this is rough for WE. Are they just... Sorry, for LNG, are we going to a game 3 here? I'm
We could well be, but remember last game was pretty good for WE too.
But I feel like they're in a better position even than last game.
Yeah, they're in a better position, but they're not in too good of a position right now. Remember, the Elites is going to start falling off right now. I feel like G8 should be a lot stronger than he is right now. He only has 4 items when.
And one thing we have to check in with is Flandre is actually rapidly catching up on items. He's at 4.5 items at this point.
Oh yeah.
So he is actually going to be relevant next fight.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you want to talk items?
Properly relevant.
After the last fight, the Meshais was sold for a rod. You're right, but it was again. It cost him like. It cost like 500, right? So
purchase in this situation, you're correct.
Yeah, it basically cost him an elixir. Okay, sometimes you get them, then they work, sometimes they don't.
So let's think of what he actually picks up with that.
I mean, probably a death cap would be my...
Probably a Ravadance, but honestly, maybe even like a Ludens could be good.
Ludens does not build out of that and has not for about 3 years.
Right.
I make that same mistake daily. It's Spellbinder and Ravadance only, I believe.
Wait, not even Rylai's anymore?
No. Rylai's not for like 5 years. Wait, since when did Rylai's ever build out of it? No, Rylai's is...
I thought they changed it back at some point.
No, Rylai's is Ruby,
I thought like
Absol,
season 6 or something
Blossom.
it was again.
No, they changed in like season 6. They changed it from a giant spelt to a ruby crystal and made the whole item like cheaper and weaker.
Okay, well,
good lord.
I'm out of my depth when it comes to AP itemization.
Yeah.
And maybe LNG is out of her depth when it comes to defending the base right now.
Possibly. It's got the Baron push coming on in. Looks like this inhib's going to drop pretty rapidly, and no one can get the flank that they need from LNG, but that's not going to stop them trying. Again, the Aurelia ult has been swiped to start the fight. This is a level 18 Plex. He does not have a cooldown on the hijack, so he is okay with just yoinking the Aurelia ult, because he's still going to be able to get everything he needs if the fight goes on.
LNG can't get a flank, but honestly, Azure might benefit from WE not getting a flank up either as well.
Oh my god, half his health through the Bloodthirster. A lot of damage coming out from Mystic, and of course, when those Void Seekers land, the cooldown does get reduced on the AP build, so just throwing them out left, right, and center.
Yeah. 3 inhibs down. LNG need to find a fight right now.
Well,
they can't wait for the double super minion waves to crash.
Yeah, they've only got 4 this time around. They aren't going to be hit with the 6 quite yet, but that will eventually come. Plex throws out the Aurelia ult, and now might want to swap it out for something else. Who's he going to take? Missa? Maybe the Alistair. But right now, these towers are just being whistled down. It's the only word for it. Plex, half his health immediately out of base. Just lost to the Void Seeker.
This is the problem with not having primary engage. If you put Atrox in the jungle, you're just not having that primary engage, and they need to do something.
They have flashes
right now.
And they have the Galio, and here it is, taunts under the tower, but Mystic is kept alive. Immediately just detonates the Galio and now tries to clean out the fight, but he has fallen to Plex, but it's not enough. Somebody was staying on the Nexus. WE pick up the win, meaning we go to game 3.
I'm impressed because Mystic is back. Mystic is the carry for WE now. They are actually formulating a strategy around him. Like, this team should not succeed in the late game, but with Mystic they do because they all know what's up.
What a performance! I didn't believe it. I don't think they had it in them, but like you said, Mystic, there's your man right there on the sign. Absolutely. Just tearing up that fight and tearing up that game. Just popping on that Kai'Sa. We were hesitant at the Kai'Sa. We didn't think it was going to work out. We saw that lane and we're like, this is a little bit rough for WE. But for a little bit more info on how that Kai'Sa managed to pop, how they managed to get to this stage, it's time to throw it over to Ray and the rest of the desk.